Oh, intro into the middle camera?
Intro
into this camera. Got it. Just want to make sure.
Hang in there, friends.
Recording here, recording in the box, streaming. All right, take it, Jess.
Empowerment for the Modern Mama. I'm Jez Moyer with LA Unscripted, and today I have the honor of sitting here with the model mama herself, Tara Turner. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, you are so sweet. It's such an honor to be here.
So one of the things we like to do with the show, LA Unscripted, is to tell your life the unscripted version of it, right? So you have one of the most incredible Instagrams of anyone I've ever seen, by the way.
Really?
I look
Thank
at that
you.
and I think, hashtag life goals, right? She's a mom, she's a mogul, you're a wifey. Let's start at the very beginning. You're from Seattle.
Yes, I am from Seattle, but I will say, as a disclaimer, Instagram is not real life. I would love to think that my life always looked like that, but I do put my best foot forward on Instagram. But I love to do like lots of funny, like behind the scenes, more like real life moments in my Insta stories.
That's one of the things I love most about you, is that you really do capture and embody the imperfection, which makes you perfection.
Oh, thank you. That is such a compliment.
I know you're a recovering beauty queen.
I am
like
a recovering, yes, I do say that I'm a recovering beauty queen because that was a long time ago.
Take me back there.
So, funny story actually. I won Miss Washington USA in 2009, and I had never competed in a beauty pageant before, but I actually wanted to get into broadcasting, and I was going to school on the East Coast at Northeastern University in Boston, and one of my good friends was Miss Massachusetts USA, and she also had broadcasting aspirations, and she just thought that it would be a great sort of jumping point for me, and she had such a great experience. She basically talked me into it, and I said, oh my gosh, that sounds fun. Like, I'm just gonna dive right in. And she gave me all sorts of tips, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna compete, I wanna compete in Washington because that's where I'm from. So at the time I was interning at Cosmopolitan Magazine in New York, and I flew back to Seattle to compete for Miss Washington. And
Were you nervous? I mean, it was your first
Yes, and I also
pageant.
prepared like all the time.
What did you do to prepare?
You do a lot of interview prep, just like about just like knowing how to answer like personal questions about yourself, which I think are the hardest questions to answer. Because like when someone wants to know like what are your like defining characteristics, or what are your like goals, or why would you make a good title holder,
All the loaded questions.
Yeah, you can't really just wing that. You really have to kind of, and it's like such a great, like preparing for any competition or any pageant is so great because it really allows you the time to like look at yourself and like figure out what your goals are, because most people don't take the time to do that unless they have a reason to, right? So it allowed me the opportunity to sort of, I don't know, decide where I wanted to go and what I stood for. And I guess like it's ironic, I didn't even make a connection until this moment about how, I mean, that was really sort of a jumping point for me about like figuring out that I wanted to talk to like women about empowerment and, you know, accomplishing their goals. And like when I was competing for Miss Washington USA, that was really my platform, was just about, I loved like the camaraderie with all the competitors and just everything I learned, so all of that.
So what happened after you won the title?
Well, so after I won Miss Washington, I just got this like sweet taste in my mouth of like being on camera and
Give me more.
Give me more. And I also had been modeling for a number of years. And one of the women that I was working for, sort of as my publicist at the time, had said, you know, you really need to move to Los Angeles because I think that market would be great for you to really further your career as a model and in broadcasting. And so I kind of just, I made the jump. I moved here in 2011, I guess.
So from East Coast to back to the West Coast.
Yes, so I finished school. I graduated from Northeastern with a degree in business and a minor in communications, and then sort of put together this really obnoxious hosting reel that was like 20 minutes long. That was so bad. It was like every like little like red carpet thing I did as Miss Washington, and I had, you know, I got to do all these cool things like MC events and do some red carpet work, but I was so bad. I was such a newbie. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just had so much fun because honestly, I just love talking to people and like hearing their story and just engaging with people, and I just think it's so fun and I love to tell their story. So I just wanted to do it more and more. To just move to LA, and I really modeled more. I mean, that's how I made money to live in LA. The broadcasting thing took a little bit to kind of come together, but I ended up getting a job working at Fox Sports. I was doing sideline reporting and in-studio work. My dad actually played in the NFL, so I really know football.
What team was your dad on?
He played for the Detroit Lions. He was the center.
I'm a Michigan girl.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah. So I grew up, you know, going, we're from Seattle, so I think my first words were "Go Huskies."
No.
And "Boo Cougars." So I was bred to like watch football.
But isn't that interesting when you reflect back on your life? Your father
Yeah.
being on the NFL, your platform in pageants has created the perfect platform for you in what you're doing now as a mom in Los Angeles and creating the Model Mama.
Yeah. You're so sweet to say that. Well, I hope so, because I really, honestly, more than anything, this Model Mama was just like sort of this like beautiful evolution of like all of my struggles, because like I've done so many different things in LA, like in my career, and I've just always been like kind of searching for more. And then becoming a mom, I felt like in the beginning it was like a step back in my career, and I didn't even know if I could go back to work.
What were you searching for though?
I was just searching. I really wanted to do something meaningful. Like I really wanted to use my voice to just deliver a positive message somehow, and I was like searching for what exactly that would be. And becoming a mom, it kind of like all clicked, because I felt like no one said to me the thing that I want to tell all moms, truly. And we were talking about this earlier off camera, but like I think so once you become a mom, so many people jump to conclusions about like, oh, your life's gonna be so different now. Oh, you know, your life's gonna be slow, and you're not gonna be able to travel, or you're not gonna be able to work.
Or aren't you glad you don't have to work anymore?
Yeah. Or like, don't you just want to stay home with your baby? And then you just feel so guilty. Like if you ever want to do more, or you want to do both.
Now, did it change for you when you got pregnant, what you thought your life was going to be like as a mom, to after you had the baby, and what your life was actually like as a mom?
That is such a good question. Yes. I mean, I don't even think you even know how to wrap your head around what it's like.
Were you scared? Were you nervous?
I think I was just like taking it day by day. Being pregnant was like so overwhelming for me, because first of all, we weren't really like trying, so to speak. Henry was like the most beautiful, magical surprise ever. But I didn't even find out I was pregnant till I was already like 11 weeks pregnant, because I was traveling and I was working so much. So it was just all a big surprise. And then I was so nervous to tell my agencies. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to be so mad, and you know, maybe I'll never be able to work again. So I was kind of like hiding it.
It's interesting though when you think about that, because as a woman, you're afraid that the pregnancy is actually going to hurt your career.
Well, it's one of the weird careers where it's not like you still just go back to work. You have to kind of transition.
It forces you to evolve.
Yeah, you kind of have to like pivot and figure out where you're going to fall. So, so I honestly was just like trying to just get through pregnancy and just like figure out life as like a pregnant model. and then I eventually, you know, I transitioned to maternity. But like I remember on my last job as a model, I think I was like 6 months pregnant, and literally I would go to set like crossing my fingers, hoping that I would show up and the clothes would fit. Like I shot this like Conair campaign, and I remember the stylist, I like didn't point blank say like I'm pregnant, but I was like, you should just, you know, get a size up maybe. So just make sure that and she kind of like winked at me and was like, I got you, girl. It's okay. And it was fine, but that was my last job where I was doing, you know, quote unquote normal modeling stuff. And then I transitioned to doing like some maternity. But everything was really like new, and I was figuring it out on the go.
So what's life like for you now as a model, as a mama here in Los Angeles?
Well, and now it's crazy because it's almost like funny because I'm literally either in workout clothes with no makeup, like my hair's in a bun. I usually have some kind of like spit up or crusty substance all over me, and I'm literally so not glamorous, or I'm like running around on castings like all glammed up in like high heels trying to get from like West Hollywood to Culver City to Santa Monica, which is crazy. Or, you know, I'm on set, and so it's funny. Sometimes I don't know what day it is.
But it doesn't matter because you make it look so good.
But I just like try to just have fun with it and enjoy the process. And I also, like actually last week, my son Henry was going out of town with my husband this weekend. So I wanted to spend time with him. And I had like 2 callbacks and 1 audition all over LA, like literally. But I wanted to bring my son, which I don't normally do. But it just took so much planning. Like I literally had a backpack packed for like each stop of just like different things to do with him and like how to keep him entertained.
I hope that's going to be one of the blog posts on the Model Mama, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How to navigate Los Angeles with all of the things you're going to need.
There's a lot of gear for sure. But also a lot of the gear is more of like it's like a safety net.
Totally.
Right? It just like makes you feel better knowing that in case of an emergency, you have 10 extra toys to try to pull out.
Prepared for anything. So not only have you launched this great new blog, you also have a new show on Focus TV. What can you tell me about it?
Yes. So the new show on Focus TV is all about sort of uniting moms together and like basically just sharing tips of moms that are doing what I'm doing, which is trying to be a mom and trying to be an entrepreneur and trying to be a model or trying to start a new business. And the beauty of being an entrepreneur is that like you can kind of have control over your schedule and, you know, work around your kids' schedule, but it's crazy. Like it's different for everybody. So like I wanted to create a show where like we're highlighting the stories of not only me, but all these other amazing women. And then everyone that's watching can like cash in on all those amazing tips.
Tell me about some of the guests.
So one of the guests, her name is Pamela Rocco, and she is like the event planner extraordinaire. She has 2 beautiful little girls. We're actually neighbors in Playa Vista. And she just, you know, she has a very unpredictable, busy schedule, just like me, but she just makes it work. Like we see each other out at the park and we're like out with our kids, but we're kind of multitasking on our phone while the kids are busy playing at the park. You just kind of figure it out. But like being a mom and being busy, it's like all about efficiency. Like you just, even like the way that I work out is different. I mean, I do intervals, I just do everything to like shorten and make the routine more concise. And like I was telling you, I have this like mom fuel smoothie that's like my go-to in the morning.
What's in it?
That literally I dump coffee, almond milk, spinach, frozen berries, and like my vegan protein powder, and I blend it up, and it's like a caffeinated, protein-packed, healthy smoothie because I love to just have a super healthy, loaded breakfast in the morning because you don't always know what your day is going to look like.
As a mom or not.
Or not.
Just a woman in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
If you are on the go and you are hustling, you have to start your day ready to rock. Well, thank you so much for being such an incredible example. I know for me personally, I'm not a mama yet. I hope someday that I can be a part of your community too.
I would love
Congratulations on the blog and on the
Thank
new
you.
show. Stay tuned for more. This is LA Unscripted, where we tell the lives, where we tell the stories about the lives of the people with the most influence here in Los Angeles, completely unscripted.
Cut there.
Yay, that was so fun.
Is that good?
So good.
Wired, Judge, you're going to come out.
Yes.